Is up, superfans? I'm Matt Stockholm, and this is another edition of the Quantum Corner. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below. That will link you into our giveaway, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Okay, so Marvel just keeps hitting us. There's all kinds of stuff swirling around. There was a reveal last night. There's a reveal today. So here's the situation. These are some major spoilers. Big time spoiler alert. So if you don't want any spoilers, walk away now, because I'm telling you, some of this stuff could be very, very intricate to the movie. Now, you know how spoilers go. Take it with a grain of salt, but I am just saying, one part is from a toy reveal. The other thing is a very in-depth, for the most part in-depth for a plot leak anyway. It's not crazy in-depth, but pretty in-depth. So I'm telling you, by what I heard, it sounded pretty legit, and it sounded about right to what we've seen in the trailers, what we've heard. So, without further ado, if you do not want anything, get out of here now. For those of you that are brave enough to weather it, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing was a toy reveal. Last night, on Instagram, apparently is what I think it first broke, there was a toy for the Stark Gauntlet. And this is a toy made by Hasbro. You guys can check it out, look at it. I mean, it's got the Iron Man red and gold in there. It looks like what we've expected to be the Stark Gauntlet. Now, having said that, sometimes these toy things are just, it's all about the toy. It has nothing to do with the movie. And because, you know, things like that in the comics and whatever, it could just be something that's taken out of there. But for a lot of us that believe that Stark is going to put together his own gauntlet, and I'm not necessarily saying that I do, but that's been the common theory out there, this looks pretty plausible. Now, on the back side of it, I don't think Marvel would allow Hasbro to release something like this if it was in the movie. So that's the only thing that makes me think, maybe not. Because would they really let this big of a spoiler out just before the movie comes out? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they've been so smart about hiding everything that it doesn't seem like in the last minute they would do this. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about the gauntlet. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's just a toy? Okay, now we're going to get into the plot leak stuff. So this is kind of break down some of the highlights of the movie. It doesn't have every part in there, but it gives you a pretty good gist of what's going on. So it basically says that it opens up, like we thought, out in space with Tony and Nebula. We get a bit of Tony's message to Pepper, then it cuts to him and Nebula, and they're playing some games. It's been rumored paper football, now even somebody's saying maybe ping pong, so they're playing some kind of game on the ship. They start working. They decide they're going to come up with a plan. They use Nebula's parts, Tony's leftover parts, and this is how they're going to repair the ship to get back home. So then it cuts to Thanos basically on his planet. Now, from what it says, he uses the gauntlet to repair the gauntlet and himself. And then apparently tries to destroy the gauntlet, feeling like, it's just too dangerous now that his work is done, and is unable to. Okay? Then it goes to the Avengers headquarters. And we get basically the heroes like meeting, talking about stuff. In the midst of this is when Tony and Nebula basically are breaking through the atmosphere coming into space. And I believe this is the part we see with Tony with the yellow face, is when he's coming in, you know, through the solar system or whatever, the inner universe, coming down to planet Earth. Sorry, I didn't word that very well. Apologize, guys. But anyways, the Avengers get on alert because they think it's an attack. They get out there. They eventually see that it's Tony. Tony reunites with Pepper. They have that, you know, emotional time. And then Rocket actually goes up to talk to Nebula, kind of like, where's my peeps? And basically this is where he finds out that the Guardians are gone. And I'm sure it's a pretty sad moment, pretty dramatic moment. Okay? So then they get inside. And this is basically, I think, where it gets into that CinemaCon clip. Captain Marvel shows up. They're all kind of talking about what's happened. Basically, this is where they're going to put the plan together. But when you see that scene where they see the planet and they say that, I think Black Widow mentions that he's used the stones again. I think what it is when he repairs the stuff and then tries to destroy the gauntlet, it makes an energy surge that picks up on their scanner or whatever. And then along with that, Nebula says, this is where she says about Thanos being on the garden. So they basically come up with a plan. Banner and Tony stay behind. Tony's just too weak. He's really depleted from being out in space. No food, no water, all that kind of stuff. So he's really beat down. Banner obviously can't Hulk out, so they stay back. The others basically go to find Thanos on the planet on Titan 2. They battle Thanos. Apparently, Thor hurts him pretty good, and then Captain Marvel comes in and hurts him really, really bad. Gets to the point of like finishing him off, and I guess Thanos uses the gauntlet to freeze all the other Avengers in time and makes them watch as he disintegrates Captain Marvel, I'm assuming with the Power Stone. Basically, all the Avengers are stunned. Thanos bails out. They're just kind of like, they don't know what to do. Now, it cuts to the second part. Now, this is apparently where the guy says he believes this is where you go by Black Widow's hair being longer, and this is now about 2 years since Infinity War. So basically, all the Avengers are broken. Tony's suffering from PSD, working on suits. Cap's running the support groups and meetings. Thor and Rocket are basically taken off. They're AWOL. No one really knows where they're at. Black Widow is full of regret, sadness. She's just really hurt. She hears rumor of Clint and basically goes after him. This is probably where she's going to find Ronan in Japan now. Basically, Ant-Man, I guess, gets out of the quantum realm and basically unites all the heroes together. They come up with a plan. Basically, this is where they have the suits and all that, but not everyone wears the suits, which kind of makes sense. If you look at, again, I'm going to mention some toys, but when I was looking at Walmart actually today, Iron Man and Cap don't have quantum realm suits on in the Titan series. So some of that stuff in the trailer, they may not actually be wearing the suits. Now, when I do my toy review with the Hasbro ones, they are wearing them. So it's a toss to whether, they are or they're not in the movie. Who knows? Maybe they do at one point. Maybe they don't. But I know a lot of us have talked about Cap's scale armor. So maybe that's just one part of it. Maybe the suit's the other part of it. Okay? So they basically make this plan. They get their suits. From this point, it's a little foggy. Apparently there's a scene with Banner who gets caught up in like this energy surge. Let's see. Whatever the Avengers do basically upsets Thanos. So this is where he comes after them. This is where he destroys the HQ with some kind of orbital strike. Well, then he teleports down. Now, he teleports from the donut ship because he doesn't, I guess, have the gauntlet at this time. He sends in the Outriders. They basically attack some of the other Avengers on the sub-levels. This is probably where we've seen Ronan running through the halls and the explosions and all that. So then Thanos comes down to the basically battleground where all the debris and fire and all that is. This is probably the scene where we see Thor, Cap, and Iron Man circle him. They basically fight Thanos. Here comes a really drastic spoiler right here. Thor gets impaled by Thanos' sword and is killed. I guess Cap goes crazy, tries to fight. Iron Man grabs Cap, flies off with him. Then there's a big gap here where he's not exactly sure what happens. I should have admitted this in the beginning. This leak comes courtesy of a European worker, somebody who worked on the set or worked with the Avengers, like in-game production team or whatever. Obviously, they're not leaving their info, but apparently that's where this leak is coming from. Excuse me for not mentioning that in the very beginning. So what he says is there's a big time gap that he doesn't know because a lot of the end third act stuff was kept very secretly. But there is a final fight scene between all the heroes, all the previously dusted heroes. Apparently the Avengers win. Thanos isn't killed, but he maintains only the Space Stone and I guess takes off with just the Space Stone. There is talk of another villain, a secondary villain, who basically shows up at some part in the middle and some part at the end. But it's not named who it is, but he says that most comic book fans could probably guess. I don't know, there's a lot out there. So could it be Kang? Could it be Adam Warlock? We'll have to wait and see. But apparently there is a big funeral, and then the consequences from this movie, their actions in this movie, will carry on to further movies. And then I guess basically at the end is a scene with Captain Marvel in front, leading the other Avengers, and none of the original 6 Avengers are in there. So some of the Avengers that came on later on, and then probably some new ones. And that's pretty much the gist of it all. So I know it's a lot to swallow. If you're still watching, thank you guys for hanging in there through all of it. Definitely give me your feedback. What do you guys think? Do you like this plot leak? Do you like this theory? Do you like the way it sounds? Does it seem like it fits with the movie? Does it totally sound bogus? Part of me thinks this could be another instance of them leaking false information, going with the trailers, going with all this stuff to build this plot that really isn't going to happen. So always take with a grain of salt. But I do think it does sound pretty good. So give me your guys' feedback on it. I always appreciate it. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm definitely working on some other stuff, but I just want to get this done really quick because it was like breaking news. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below. That will enter you into our giveaway. Our next giveaway prize is at 200 and will be a winner's choice poster. And if you're still watching right now and you comment anything about this theory, hashtag free comic, I have a bunch of different comics, digital and regular, that I will give away to the first person who does it. So all you have to do is comment on this video, hashtag free comment, and then I will contact the person who does it first. You probably have to connect with me on social media, private message, and I will get you your comic. So thanks, guys. That's it for the Quantum Corner. I'm Matt Stockholm saying, stay super, everybody.